You ever notice how some customers say, I will think about it, and then they never do? They save the link, they bookmark the page, they tell themselves they will come back later, but they never really do. And deep down, you know it's not because they did not like your offer, they just did not feel enough to act right now. That's the thin line between interest and action. And this is where most funnels quietly fail. Hey, this is Faraz, and in this video, I want to talk about value and behavior in your funnels. This is the step where your marketing starts to move people. If you have watched my 4-step funnel framework video, this is the third step in that process. And if you haven't watched this video yet, you can find the link of the video somewhere in the description. Now, what this value and behavior step really does is simple. It takes your message beyond just explaining what it is and helps your audience understand why they should act right now. Because no matter how great your product is, if it doesn't make people feel something, they will not click, they will not buy, and they will not move forward. And this is the part where most people mess up. They explain their offer logically, but forget the emotional trigger that turns attention into action. During my recent trip to Japan, I noticed something interesting about how people make buying decisions. In Hakone, there is this place famous for its black eggs. They are just regular eggs boiled in natural hot springs until the shell turns black. But the story says that eating those eggs adds 7 years to your life. And even though they taste like a normal egg, people were still trying them. Not because they were hungry, but because they thought, I might never come here again. That's timing, that's curiosity, and that is customer behavior. Then, after a few days in Tokyo in a place called Akihabara, I saw something similar but from a different angle. Shops were selling rare cards and action figures for hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. And I thought these are just pieces of printed paper and plastic. But people were staring at them like they were treasure. That's when it clicked. People don't buy things, they buy feelings. Those cards and figures were not about the material, they were about nostalgia, pride, and memories. And that's exactly how people act online too. They don't always buy because of logic, they buy because something feels right in the moment. Because when something feels emotional, timely, or limited, people stop thinking and start doing. So, the question is, how do you actually create that kind of reaction inside your funnel? How do you move people to act naturally, ethically, and without using fake hype? There are 3 ways to do it. You don't always need all of them, but using even 1 or 2 at the right time can completely change how your audience responds. Let's go through them one by one. The first one is scarcity. You need to show your audience that what is at stake if they wait. You need to give people a reason to act now, because when there is no reason to hurry, they delay. And delay usually means never. But the key is to keep it real. Maybe you are offering limited spots in your program. Maybe there is a bonus that expires in 48 hours. Or maybe the price goes up after the launch. It's not about adding pressure, it's about creating momentum. For example, I once ran an offer where we had only 100 copies available. And I clearly mentioned once these are gone, they are gone. Guess what? Most sales came in the last few hours. Not because people did not want it before, but because that small nudge, that real scarcity, finally pushed them to act. Scarcity works when it is honest, because deep down people don't want to miss out. They just need a reason not to wait. Another way to move people to act is through timing. You need to show people why now is the right time to take action, because timing changes everything. Your offer might be the same, but the moment your audience is in, that's what decides if they act or not. Maybe it is a new year and they want to start fresh. Maybe the industry just shifted and they need to catch up. Or maybe they have been sitting on this decision for months and this is the sign they were waiting for. You can simply say something like, if you have been putting this off for a while, maybe this is your moment to start. It's small but powerful. Because when your message connects with their moment in life, it feels aligned, personal, and real. And when it feels real, people act. But here is something even deeper. People don't act only because of timing or scarcity, they act because something inside them shifts. That inner shift comes from emotion. Because every click, every sign up, every purchase, it all starts with a feeling. Before people take action, they go through a small change from curious to confident, from uncertain to excited. So ask yourself, what do you want your customer to feel before they click? Is it relief? Is it excitement? Is it hope? Or is it trust? Whatever that emotion is, you need to show it in your copy, in your visuals, and in your stories. For example, imagine someone lands on a page that says, finally, a simple way to grow your audience without burning out. That line gives them relief. Or when you show real customer results or behind the scenes moments, that builds trust. A countdown before a new feature launch can create excitement, and a short personal note from the founder can spark hope, showing there is a real person who cares about their success. For example, these collectors in Tokyo did not buy action figures because they needed them. They bought them because it made them feel connected to something they loved. And people buying black eggs in Hakune, they were not buying food, they were buying curiosity, a little wonder, and a moment. That's what emotion does. It makes people move. So when you write your message or design your funnel, don't just focus on what people will see. Focus on what they should feel. Because when people feel something, they do something. So here's the truth. If your funnel looks logical but doesn't make people feel something, they will say yes, but they will not act. Because logic gets attention, but emotion drives action. Add scarcity when it is real, add timing when it feels right, and add emotion when you want to make it memorable. You don't need all three every time, but even one done right can completely change how your audience responds. Because when your funnel feels human, it moves people. And that's when convergence happen. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.